By a show of hands, how many of y'all have ever given up on yourself before? Oh yeah, of course I ain't gonna get no hands on that. Yeah, and everybody's like, nah, I'm not gonna raise my hand if you don't. Fact of the matter is, everybody's been there. Everybody's had that time where something felt like it was so insurmountable that they couldn't continue, and they chose not to. The point of me bringing that up is, how did that make you feel afterwards? There's two ways that could have went. Either one, you know what I'm saying, you're all right, you're okay with it, cool. I didn't do it, I knew I couldn't do it, all right. And then there's another where that feeling deep inside you, that little voice in the back of your head is telling you, you should have listened to me. You should have continued on. You should have just gave it a try. Don't be the one that does the first thing, that just makes it okay to give up on yourself, especially in a game. I know my talks are geared more towards athletes, but this is for any and all types of walks of life. You have to work at whatever you're not good at. The only reason why you have weaknesses in the first place is because you haven't worked at it enough to make it strong. If I just sit up there in the gym and I just bench press the entire time, bench press, don't do nothing else, then I'm going to have big shoulders, I'm going to have a big chest, and I'm going to have big triceps, but the rest of my body is still going to be small, and it's going to be weak and unproportional. Bring your weaknesses up to your strengths so that you are balanced and you are whole and you are strong. Make your weaknesses stronger than your enemy's strengths, so that when you're at your worst, you're still better than somebody's best, your competition's best, to be exact. I remember when Michael Jordan played a game and he had the flu. I'm be honest with you. Now, the flu is one of the times where I'm going to have them times, that I just talked about, where I'm wondering, okay, should I continue to go or not? But Mike Jordan said that my game today, while I got the flu, is better than your A game. My C game is better than your A game. You want to know why? Because Mike had heart. That stuff is still coachable. People just don't take the time to do it. But heart ain't nothing but a combination of desire, the will, and the action to put it all together. You have to have the desire you have to want to be better in order for you to be better. You have to take those steps. Everybody say they want to climb Mount Everest, but I guarantee you, when they look up from the base of that mountain, that same instinct is going to kick in where you're like, maybe I don't feel like doing all this. Some people just say, screw it, I'm going. And when they go, they get up that mountain, and then the further they go up, it don't get easier, it get harder. It gets colder. The wind gets a little bit more chilly. Starts blowing a little harder. The rocks get a little more slippery. The air gets thinner. And then you start questioning your mind again. Is it worth it to continue? You got to make sure that at the end of it all, though, so that you don't get it twisted, whatever you're doing is actually worth it to you. Is it worth it to get at the top? What are you gaining from getting up there? Once you have that established, continue climbing. Because effort, like Ray Lewis said, it's all between you and you. That is something that is hard to coach. You can't coach somebody's effort. All you can do is try to persuade them to put forth that effort in the game, in practice. Coach can scream, yell, kick, punch, do whatever he wants to do to tell you to run faster, but you have to make it up in your own mind that you're going to run faster. The reason why the coach is trying to tell you to run faster, though, is because even though you're hurting right now, even though it doesn't feel good to you right now, he knows if you push just a little bit harder, then you'll be faster from that point on. He knows that you're better, you're more capable of doing more than what you're showing him. He sees the potential in you, so he's going to push you to reach that potential. Don't badmouth your coaches when they're telling you to do something that's not very comfortable for you to do. Don't do that. Because at the end of the day, he's right. It's your job to play the game. It's his job to get you prepared to do so. So with that being said, all you arrogant athletes, you know, the guys that sit up there with the booby mouth syndrome. If you don't know what the booby mouth syndrome is, you haven't seen Friday Night Lights. The guys that say, oh yeah, you know, this was all given. This is God given. All I got to do is show up. I ain't got to practice. I don't have to perfect my craft. I don't have to do this. All I got to do is show up. My game is natural. Natural will only get you so far. I guarantee you, between the lines, whether it's game 1 or game 5, there's somebody who has your name in their mind. They have your number, and they gonna knock you on your natural. And when you get up from that, how you get up from that is all the difference. If you're not used to falling, that first fall is gonna be devastating. But if you put forth the effort, you've been on that ground before and you got back up, you know what it's like to work through stressful situations, you can get back up and save it for the next play. One of my biggest rivals, a guy named Maurice, he said something one time to me. You know, we kind of grew up together or whatever, everything like that, and we were always competing in everything, but he said something to me that stuck with me to this day. We were playing a backyard game of football, and he was quarterback, I was wide receiver. He threw a perfect pass to me. It was 3rd down, and I dropped it, and I was upset with myself because I dropped it. I was trying to do one of those one-hand Randy Moss catches. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody's tried it. And I messed it up. He looked me in the face and he told me, look, Will, there's nothing we can do about that play. Make it up this next one. The longer you stand here being pissed about that catch that you didn't make, the longer it's taking us to prepare for the one that you're about to make. So shut that thing up, line back up, because it's coming back to you again. This is my biggest competitor. This is my rival. I trained specifically for a certain amount of time to be better than this guy. And he lifted me up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. In the athlete's mind, in the athlete's world, is completely different than a normal person. I get it. I've been an athlete. I've been there. I've played between the same lines you've played. But you have to be willing, like I said before, to give up what it is that is keeping your weakness weak. Take the time to sharpen your weaknesses. It's not going to feel good. It's not. Take the time to make your weaknesses stronger, become stronger all the way around, and then come back on that playing field. You may not be completely as strong as you want to be, but I can dang sure assure you that you'll be stronger than you were. Let's say you play wide receiver like I did, and you can't get off the jam. Work on it. If you're basketball player and you're right-handed and you can't dribble with your left hand, take the time, tie your right hand behind your back, and dribble all day long with your left hand. Do it until it's natural to you. If you play hockey and you can't skate backwards, try it. I dare you to fall on your butt a few times. Do it. Because it's better to fall now while you're training than to do it when you need to do it. When I say that, I mean in mid-game. You're in the middle of the rink and you have to skate backwards for the first time. And you're not sure, you're worried, you're wondering. And not only are you falling, but you're falling and you're embarrassed. It's crazy because, you know, in medieval times, they fought with a sword. And their swords had 2 edges. It was double-edged. You want to know why it was double-edged? Because if they missed with the first swing, they were coming back again with the backhand to swing again. And 99% of the time, when you swing the sword that second time, when it's coming back twice as hard as it did the first time. And some of those civilizations even sharpened that side of the sword even more for that reason. All I'm saying is when you get to that place again where that fight or flight syndrome comes out, make sure that before you quit, that you think it through, enough to know that quitting might just be the easy thing. It might not be the right thing. It might be the easy thing to do. If you can find it within yourself to succeed in this, it's only going to make you that much stronger. Most people quit because they're afraid of their weaknesses. Don't be afraid of your weakness. Confront it head on. That's what you got to do. That's what makes you elite. That's the difference between winning and losing. Thank y'all for your time.